Today I wanted to take a look at 1984's Scaremaker, also known as Girls Nite Out. The film was made in 1982 under the name Scaremaker, but was later released in 1984 and distributed under the name Girls Nite Out. This was basically done in order to capitalize on the sleaze factor, and some of the promotional posters do make it seem like it's a film about depraved girls, which not really. I mean, you do have some romping going on, but what do you expect from a bunch of college kids? So the film to me seems more of a soap opera really than an actual slasher film. It does open in an asylum, and we have a night nurse who discovers a hanging body. In the next sequence, you have a couple of grave diggers complaining about how the sister had paid them to bury the body, just pretty much get rid of it. And all of a sudden, pretty much, they are just being attacked by a dark figure. And you have these really strange scenes where they're pretty much being attacked by their own shovel, but the shovel is actually being pushed into the camera lens, kind of to mimic a stabbing type motion. I don't know, it's just a very odd shot. It really doesn't work for me. So we do have a group of college kids, sorority girls, and it's pretty much the night before the big sorority scavenger hunt. It's being sponsored by the college radio station. The sorority girls go out and collect these items just based on very cryptic clues. The killer in the film actually plays off of these clues, and every time a girl is knocked off, he calls the radio station and gives sort of a cryptic hint about the latest murder victim, or about himself, or where the girl may be found. So it's mildly intriguing, I guess you could say. Early on in the film, the college mascot is killed, and the costume is taken that is being used as the killer's disguise, which was for me the most intriguing part of the film, because the mascot's a bear, so we pretty much have a killer teddy bear. We have this modification that's been made to where kitchen knives have been forced through the bear's paws in order to mimic claws. So pretty much every time a girl is killed, if she's grabbed by the throat or if she's swiped at, it's pretty much like a real bear clawing at the girl, which, like I said, I think was a very interesting idea. I'd never really seen a killer teddy bear other than, you know, any of the Christmas themed films, which toys come to life. But I don't know, I guess the novelty is what intrigued me the most. The film is pretty flat. Like I said, it comes off as more of a soap opera. You have this whole deal with kids cheating on each other. There's this one scenario with a girl who's dumped her boyfriend for some guy that she just had a one-night stand with. Unfortunately, he also happens to be her second cousin, but she rationalizes this as he's just the second cousin, so apparently it's okay. Still pretty disgusting. Sorry. Not going there. It doesn't really take too long for the cast members to dwindle down, and it is somewhat of a relief. The acting in some parts is just very awkward line delivery. Some of the actors are very stiff. I'd say pretty much the only good thing that the film has going for it is the fact that they have Hal Holbrook guest starring, and he actually filmed his scenes all in one night separately. The only time he actually appears with any of the other film members in the movie is during one of the nighttime crime scenes. Otherwise, everything was strategically cut to make it look as though he were there, which, clever for himself. He pretty much managed to be in a dud and avoided the whole process altogether. Like I said, it's a very interesting idea, the whole take on it, but I think it could have been better executed. It's a fairly decent film. I wouldn't completely condemn it. It is a fun watch. You have these crazy, kooky characters doing all these goofy things, and you really don't know what to expect from the characters other than the fact that they're just going to run around being sleazeballs, hopping from bed to bed. But character-wise, not too much development, but they are quirky, so they are entertaining to watch. So the campus security guard, Mac, who is played by Hal Holbrook, he eventually does call the asylum after receiving a phone call from the killer. He is at this point playing the campus security guard. He was an ex-officer, and I guess he sort of took to looking after the school after his daughter was murdered. She was also killed several years prior during a sorority scavenger hunt, and this is pretty much hinted at early on in the film. It doesn't really provide too much backstory, but I guess it does sort of help just piece together why this killer is around and killing the sorority girls. So Mac does find that this Kavanaugh fellow is not actually on the loose. He committed suicide a couple of days before these murders actually began. So I don't know if you would say it's somewhat of a copycat deal or if it's just someone else stepping in. Early on in the film it is also hinted, or I guess the movie's trying to be smart, they do reference Psycho. And I guess you can say that is a slight hint or some foreshadowing. But in the ending sequence, Mac does realize who the killer is. It is a bit of a twist. I'm not going to ruin that for you. If you do choose to go out and take a look at this movie, then I definitely want to leave that surprise for you. I will say though that the voice changing effect that is used on the killer during the reveal is a bit odd. It doesn't really add to the film. It kind of just, I've noticed for a lot of people it adds confusion as to the identity of the killer or who they really were. And that really wasn't the intended effect. I think they were just going for shock value. But if you have seen the film, I would definitely love to discuss this more in depth with you in the comments, see what you think. But that is pretty much all I have for you today. I will talk to you later.